Now get ready for Watching Weird, your ultimate destination for mind-bending movie reviews and recommendations. From hidden gems to cult classics, we explore it all. Hosted by storytellers and cinephiles Alan Gamboa, Scott Baker, Rich Restucci, and Hadley Thorne, with a special shout-out to Landis Aldana and Alan Lasseter for their incredible support that help us keep the lights on at Weird. Now grab your Coke, popcorn, and tinfoil hat, and let's get weird.
Hi.
Weird.
Difficulties, all my fault. Sorry, everybody.
No, you got it, man.
We're old. We don't know how to do technology.
Yeah, no, that's true.
If it was up to me, we'd still be sitting on our hands if it was up to me. So
it took a minute.
That
to figure
is.
that out. Sorry, we
Happy
were late,
Wednesday,
Tony.
everybody.
Happy
Hey, Tony.
Wednesday.
Hey,
So,
Tony.
This week, we're going to give a tribute to the wonderful Mr. Val Kilmer, who recently passed away. If you didn't know, I mean, there's no way you don't know that. You know, with social media, news, and everything else. Yeah. But Val passed away last week, and he was one of our favorite actors. We all love him. Even his B movies were pretty decent.
Except,
or if they weren't decent, he was decent.
Yeah.
But anyway,
no, he couldn't even save Dr. Moreau. Let's face it.
No, that was just a terrible flick. It was, but there were others that he was part of as well. These three were okay.
Hey, Landon.
Hey, Landon, Max.
Max, howdy.
It seems like
hello, ladies and gentlemen. So, Alan, okay, and you too. So, which one is the lady, me or Rich?
Yeah, Max. Which one's the lady?
Yeah.
Landa's the lady.
Oh, that's true. I got to admit, I did not get a chance to see Real Genius.
Have you seen it before?
Never.
You've seen it before, right?
I've never seen, other than The Thaw, I had not seen any of these movies before.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, excuse me.
I'm trying to hook Tina up here.
Hello. Trying to hook her up? Trying to get her in?
Tina says hello.
Hello, Tina.
Hi, Tina.
Thank you. Hi.
She said hi. You hear her? She said hi.
Hi.
You can see her hand. Show your hand. Show your hand. See?
Hi.
There is a Tina, actually. There's actually a Tina. It seems to me that Val Kilmer, he's got a wide, selection of movies, but it seems like from the 90s on, he was just mostly in it for like 10 minutes. They use his name as a key to draw people into a lot of B movies. Does that seem right to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put him as a plug. Val Kilmer starring in when he's got a bit part, like The Thaw, and Mindhunters.
Yeah. Yeah, yours is the only one that he's in from the beginning to end.
Yeah, it was one of his first flicks, I think.
I think it was his first flick, wasn't it?
No, he was in Top Secret before that. Top Secret.
That was his first one.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was his first. Well, let's look it up. I don't know if that was his first one, or that was the first one he was famous for.
I think that was his first one.
It might have been.
Rich.
I'm looking up, trying to find IMDb, but there we go. 1959 to 2025.
Wow.
He's only a few years
last
old.
film was Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah.
Oh man, he's in a lot of stuff.
He is, but I think
Top Secret is the first thing he's built for in 1984.
What was it?
Yeah.
Top Secret. And then Real Genius, and he exploded with Top Gun.
Yep, that was.
And then
that
Willow was 88.
Yeah. Well, shall we get rolling? You want to get rolling?
Yeah, absolutely. Who wants to go first?
Do you want to go first? Just in order? We'll go in order. Or?
I can go first, sure. Let me pull up my notes here. Ooh, there we go. So I picked Real Genius because I hadn't seen it in a while. And I kind of liked the movie when I first saw it. 1985's Real Genius was one of the first films I remember Val Kilmer starring in. He plays Genius Chris Knight, one of the nerds at Pacific Tech, a smarty pants school for smarty pants people. The movie stars Kilmer, William Atherton as the bad guy, Robert Prescott as the nerd Kent, and John Grease as Hollyfeld. Patty Darbanville, Ed Lauder, and Deborah Foreman have smaller roles. There were a bunch of other people that you might know in this, but just sort of passing. They never really got too famous. Grossing $13 million at the box office with an $8 million budget, Real Genius had a decent return, although it was never a blockbuster. So the plot is this. Chris and Mitch need to build a chemical laser for Professor Hathaway. They battle Kent and his team of nerds to see who can build the laser first, with escalating high-tech pranks coming from both sides. Chris is a legend to young Mitch, but Mitch soon realizes that Chris, while hyper-intelligent, is kind of coasting through college and doesn't really give a shit about much other than, winning the coveted degree and job associated with whoever builds the laser first. What they don't know is that the project has been funded by the CIA, and the CIA is looking for a weapon. The laser gets built after some pranks and hijinks and sabotage. Then Hollyfeld, a burned-out genius, shows up and tells the kids that the only thing their project could be is a weapon. The kids rebel, and they use the laser to cook a shit ton of popcorn in Professor Hathaway's house because Hathaway hates popcorn. That's pretty much the whole flick. There's some funny hijinks inside there, pretty good stuff. Again, I liked it. It's a nerd comedy from the 80s, and it's a pretty good one. Kilmer's attitude through the film is callous but funny, and he for sure modeled his character after Nick Rivers from his earlier film Top Secret. One cool thing about the film is that the popcorn used was actual popcorn, which the film crew popped for 3 months. There was an episode on Mythbusters where they tried to blow up a smaller house using popcorn, but it wouldn't work. It was also the first film where the director answered questions via a computer over the social media service CompuServe. You're kind of dating yourself if you know what that is. I actually used CompuServe back in the day for a little while. I was in a group called the Sixers. It was fun. I actually saw this one at the theater when it came out, and I really liked it. The comedy holds up now, but I knew most of it was coming, so it wasn't nearly as funny 40 years later. I'm glad I watched it again, though, and I'm interested to know what you guys thought of it and if you liked it or not. But Scott has recently said that he actually didn't get a chance to watch it. So what did you think about it, Big Mike?
Oh, go ahead, Scott. Go ahead and do your thing.
No, I mean, I never saw this movie before, and I didn't get a chance to watch it before tonight. So,
I love this movie. I saw it when it came out the movie theater, and I really enjoyed it then. You watch it again, and it's just the 80s. I mean, it's everything about the 80s. It made you think, oh man, I remember crap like that.
hi, Tina.
What I love about this is you have Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite playing Laszlo Holyfield. He enters all those contests. And I thought his character was from One Crazy Summer. I had those movies mixed up because there's a similar character in One Crazy Summer with John Cusack and Demi Moore. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
Yes.
It's when John Cusack was sane. But anyway, this has a great cast, and then you got Kent, the bad guy, the actor Robert Prescott that plays Kent. He was the bad guy in a Bachelor Party. I actually thought this guy's name was Kent because he looks like a Kent from the 80s, wearing the Izod shirt, with the collar up and all. Val Kilmer was great in this. He just killed it. If you liked him in Top Gun, not Top Gun, Top Secret, you'll love him in this one. I mean, he's just so great. You could see this guy was going to be a star. You just didn't know where it was going to go.
Right.
And this kind of reminds me of Animal House, Stripes, rolled together. A little more innocent, though. A lot more innocent than those movies. But this was a lot of fun. It's just a fun movie. It's worth watching, Scott.
You gotta see it, man.
Huh?
I said you got to see it, Scott. Whenever you get it, man.
You got to, because it's just a fun trip down memory lane, and it's got one of the best bits of dialogue. Was it Deborah Foreman asked him, if he could if you could pound in a 6-inch spike with your penis? And Val Kilmer's like, not right now. That's just one of the best. That and Gary Busey's DC Cab. Have you seen DC Cab?
Yeah.
Gary
Yes.
Busey's crazy.
Team.
And he goes, women, they got all the and half the money. I mean, that line is just awesome. I'd say that word, but I don't know if we'd get
Don't
demonetized.
say it.
Not like we're monetized anyway. This is a classic. This is a classic, along with Top Secret. Val Kilmer is really versatile in his acting.
He is.
I mean, he had obviously a flair for comedy. And if you haven't seen this one, watch it. But watch it with the view of 80s nostalgia.
He didn't do much comedy after those two, did he?
Not really. Well,
No.
he played Mad Mardigan was kind of comedic in Willow.
He had
you know.
movies where he had some funny stuff.
Yeah.
Where he did some funny stuff, but he wasn't. He never really did another comedy like those ones. I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
He did a little bit of Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. But DC Cab is hilarious, Landa. That's another one you should watch. If you haven't seen DC Cab, you should watch that one. Adam
It's got
Baldwin,
everybody. Bill Maher.
Bill
Hulk
Maher,
Hogan.
the Barbarian twins
Yeah.
from a long time ago. Yeah, Mr. T.
Yes.
But I digress. So, what do you want? What would you give this one, Rich?
I think I'm going to give this one a 4. I enjoyed it. It was good to see again. It's a movie I may watch again, but not for a few years. And I saw it, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 years ago again after I had seen it in the theater. And each time I liked it. Although, like I said, this time I knew the comedy was coming, and it wasn't as funny, but it was still nice to see. I mean, the kid that plays Mitch, he kind of sucked. He wasn't that great, but Val Kilmer and everybody else was really good. And I'm a big Atherton fan. He's just such an unlikable character in everything he is. He's such an asshole. And
He sure got
the bad guy
typecast.
in Ghostbusters. If you don't know who that is,
Sorry?
He sure got typecast in that.
He did, but he nails it. He really does.
Oh yeah,
Was
Yeah,
he
Die
the bad,
Hard.
you said he was
like
the bad guy in Ghostbusters?
Yeah, he's
Oh,
yeah,
like
he's-
the city
he's
planning
hilarious.
official
He's
guy.
great.
he was a reporter in Die Hard 1 and 2.
Yes, actually, yeah.
That was him. Okay. I didn't
Yeah.
I always
Dick.
wondered, but the beard and mustache threw me off.
Yeah. Well, I think you're in trouble, Scott. I'll give. You know what? I'll go along with you on this one. I'll give it a 4. Nostalgia plays a big part in this. And it's just a fun movie. It's if you're down or something, put it on. You'll have a good time. Did you want to go, Scott? Since your
Sure,
movie's
I'll
right there?
go since Londer's upset at me. It's a little-known movie. Came out in 2009. It was directed by Mark Lewis, written by Mark Lewis, and I guess his brother Michael Lewis. Mark Lewis, looking at it, he really has he's only directed about 5 movies. It's pretty much this Arctic expedition is up north. It's trying to prove that global warming is melting the ice caps, and it's going to be destructive. And Val Kilmer plays the hero anti-hero, Dr. Crouppen. And him and his team discover a mastodon in the ice the ice around it is starting to melt, but this thing is all bloody and it's got open sores. And it then cuts to he's got 4 college students coming up to help him with a research assignment. And joining them is his daughter, is Crouppen's daughter, who he sort of ostracized after the mother died. And he's agreed to give her all the money that he's supposed to give her, but he doesn't want her to come up. But she comes up anyways because she's a stubborn, tough, kick-ass chick. And when they get there, they find out that this mastodon has released these parasitic bugs that will take over your body, spawn in you, and then create, thousands of more bugs. It's almost like cockroaches on a killing spree. And as the movie goes on, you find out that Val Kilmer, who is a staunch environmentalist, brought the kids up there to infect them so they could all go back, so they could wipe out the world or wipe out most of the population. And that way, bring it back to normal and end the global warming. And it becomes a battle between him and his daughter to see if they can, who's going to succeed in this one. I like it. It's a good B movie. That's probably the best way to rate it. The special effects are fairly good. It really is creepy. I don't mind bugs, but some of those scenes are just creepy as hell. It has a little bit of The Thing vibe to it. And it's just a good, it's a good movie. Some of the characters you can't stand. You're dying to see them get killed. Other ones, if they get killed, you're like, oh my God, why did that person have to die? It was fairly well written. It was fairly well directed. Like I said, there's not a lot of special effects in it. There's a lot of body horror, but what special effects there are good. I would say, to me, this is one of the better B movies made in the early 2000s. So what do you guys think?
Go ahead, buddy.
He doesn't like it either.
The only character I liked in this movie was the helicopter pilot. That's the only character I liked. The daughter was a whiny bitch. See, we're far enough in I can say that word. She was horrible. You didn't care about anybody. And you could see Val Kilmer's ulterior motives at the beginning. Basically, you kind of guess, And maybe poor Joan, who tried to kill everybody so she could stop it right there. But there was no likable, even Aaron Ashmore, who I like his acting. Him and his brother Sean Ashmore, the Ashmore twins. I think this was Frost, the Frost guy in X-Men.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't like any of the characters except the helicopter pilot. I wanted the daughter to die. She was annoying. She was, and okay, these are scientific students, right? And it's a research lab. Nobody wears gloves. Nobody wears gloves. They're touching this thing with this blood's crawling all over it, touching blood, touching each other. No one wears gloves. No one even thinks to put gloves on. It's like that was his no. It's like, wait a minute. Even I know, and I'm a garbage man, basically, to wear gloves with crap like that. And that really drove me crazy because I'm thinking, okay, here's something that's contagious and you're not doing anything, but sealing up the room, The acting was so-so. It was uneven, I thought. It was pretty uneven. The effects were good. I thought the effects were pretty good. It had a little bit of suspense, but I really didn't care who lived or survived. The ending was cool. The very last part I thought was good. Left it open for a sequel. It just I watched it because it kept me interested. I wasn't invested in the characters, except for the helicopter pilot.
Yeah,
and he went the old Walking Dead route with chopping off part of his arm to see if he could survive. And I liked it when that Aaron Ashmore couldn't do it. He hit him once, and he couldn't do it. And so the chick grabs the meat cleaver. She's just like, bam, bam, bam. You just felt for that guy. It's like, holy crap, pass out already, man.
No, get it done.
Yeah, I will not watch this movie again. I didn't like it. I really didn't. It had some elements that worked, but I just did not. I didn't like it. Like I said, the acting was uneven. I didn't care, especially with the guy that got the bug in his dick. I didn't like any of the characters, except for the poor helicopter pilot who was in over his head. Yeah, Tina and I were watched it the other day, and we're just like, these
But you
people are
loved
annoying.
to see that guy suffer. I didn't like him, but I loved watching him suffer.
He did suffer.
Yeah.
He did suffer. And then when you had to cut, when they're thinking you had to cut off a body part to get rid of it, I'm thinking he's thinking, oh, I'm not cutting that off. That's not going. The bugs are gonna have to eat me. What do you think, Rich?
So I'm kind of between you two. I certainly didn't hate it, but it's definitely not the best movie I've ever seen. It was okay, like you said, Scott. It was one of the better B movies, I think, from the mid 2000s. I used to love like the parasitic bug movies, and I thought it was great just watching the body horror and all that. But I just don't like that anymore. I don't mind watching a zombie rip somebody to pieces. Blood and guts is fine, but that parasite shit inside them that just oogs me out. And I know that's the point of it. I know that's what it's supposed to do, but I shifted away from that because I used to love that when I was growing up. Even a few years ago, I would love that kind of thing. But now I don't know. I think there's better things to do. Uh, like you said, Alan. Excuse me. The acting was up and down. That the daughter really. I wish the helicopter crashed before it ever got there. We never got to see who she was because she was just terrible. The kid that played what was his name? I can't remember. Iceman, the eco terrorist kid there.
Oh,
I
Aaron
thought he did
Ashmore.
pretty well. I thought he did
Yeah.
okay. Um, you could see Val Kilmer was like he kind of mailed it in. I think on this, he was good. He was a decent actor, but it was like you could tell he just didn't give a shit. I mean, yeah, he was there for the paycheck. Um, that said, the special effects were surprisingly good for a movie of this caliber. Some of the bug scenes were just like I said. It's just like you said, Scott. It was creepy. It was just icky and gross, and what do you do? That said, what you said, Alan, about the end with the dog and the trucker driving towards the big city there, this could be a great zombie movie.
Yeah.
This could be a
Yeah.
great movie where there's infection all over the planet. These freaking bugs are everywhere. And, I mean, that's what it was headed towards. That was the point of it. And I just think some of the movie fell flat, but some of it was interesting enough to keep me there. It's a movie that I won't watch again. It just didn't do it for me, and that chick was so friggin' annoying. Actually, you know what? Both of them. The Asian girl was kind of annoying too.
Oh yeah.
Granted, her ex boyfriend there was a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
But
I lost it though.
yeah, right. But don't boom. I didn't particularly love this flick. Won't watch it again. I'm probably gonna rate. I'll give you my rating right now. I'll give it. I'll give it a 2.8. Not three worthy, but not two worthy. So like towards the end of the two spectrum. What did you guys rate it?
Scott?
Alan? No, Alan. I'll go last.
Okay. I'll give it a 2.5. And I rate it that high because it does have, like you said, Scott, the Thing vibe to it. And like you said, the bug special effects and stuff were good.
Dick bugs.
But nobody stood out in this movie. Even, like you said, Rich, Val basically mailed it in, and that's what he was doing a lot of these movies where he was in, like you said, the first, he was in 10 minutes of the movie, spread out through the movie. But yeah, 2.5. I won't watch it again.
I'm going to give it a 3.5. I agree with you all. The acting wasn't great, but it's a B movie. I don't expect the acting to be great. I expect it to be exciting. I expect it to catch my interest. I love bug movies, whether they're big bugs or the small ones. So I got a bias to this. Sorry, Landa.
Well, I guess I'll go with Mine Hunters, 2004 Mine Hunters. A bunch of FBI profilers are sent to an island to a simulation of tracking down a serial killer called the Puppeteer. And Val Kilmer is the head of the unit, that trains the profilers for the FBI. And this has a great cast. LL Cool J, Christian Slater, Eon Bailey from Band of Brothers, Clifton Collins Jr., uh, Johnny Lee Miller. He played Sherlock on the Sherlock series, and Catherine Morris. I think she has a TV series, crime TV series. Patricia Velasquez from The Mummy with Brendan Fraser.
Oh,
Those movies. This one is a case of style over substance. These profilers, it's shot very slick, and it was directed by Rennie Harlan. Hey, Clark,
Hey,
who
Clark.
did Die Hard 2 and Cliffhanger. So it's very slick. It's got some great edits, cuts, lighting. There's all kinds of action going on, which is there's a big fight scene in it at the end, which is pretty outrageous. But um, one of them is a serial killer, or maybe it's Val Kilmer, who's in this movie for about 10 minutes. He's at the beginning and then at the end of this movie. I don't want to give anything away if you haven't seen it, but it's like 10 little Indians with FBI profilers on an island. Basically, it's an updated version. Christian Slater is the hero of this. It looks like
Yeah.
people die one by one. There's a surprise death in it, I believe.
Quickly.
And like I said, this is style over substance. You're going to have things that like make you go, what? And it was it kept me watching it. I can't say this was a great movie. It was an okay movie, but it kept me watching it to figure out who it was. And I kind of knew who it was, hoped it wasn't, but it was. Anyway, what do you guys think?
all right, I'll go. I love this movie, but you have to suspend belief.
Yeah.
It was just like too many of these, these are FBI profiles. While they do a lot of, figuring out why this person is the way it is, that why that person is the way they is, they always fell for the way they're going to die. I liked it. I thought the way the deaths were arranged were like really brilliant. I thought the acting was pretty good on it. I loved LL Cool J on that one. He plays a addition. He's there to oversee something for the federal government. And Val Kilmer he's the head of this profiler unit. And he's a hard ass son of a bitch. He's like constantly, especially Slater, constantly tearing him down for not being good enough, which is why they go to this island. But it is fascinating to watch. It keeps you on the edge of your seat. Who's going to die next? Are they going to die? How are they going to die? And who is the puppeteer? And like you said, I thought the same thing. It's got that 10 Little Indians vibe to it.
Yeah.
So.
It reminded me of that Stallone movie from about the same era called I See You. Have you ever seen that one? Where he's a cop that goes up to this, he's like in this mental institution up in the middle of nowhere, like it's a Pacific Northwest, deep in the snow, and somebody starts killing. It's for cops and like FBI guys and stuff, and someone starts killing them off one by one.
Never heard of that.
Kind of like that. It reminded me of that movie. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's an okay movie, but it's got a great cast. Yeah. Just like this one. This one had a great cast.
Yeah. And they all did well. I love Christian Slater.
Oh, yeah.
He was my favorite character in this one.
Yeah.
Like you said, Val Kilmer just phoned it in at the beginning, and then he's near the end. And
this was another one where he was just in it for minutes, and they used his name.
Well, my favorite part of his acting in this one was at the beginning with Christian Slater and Catherine Morris when they go into that house and everything. You know, it's a training scenario, and there's a cake, birthday cake, sitting up the table with the bodies, and they come in later on, and he stopped talking to him, and he's eating that cake. I thought that's pretty funny. That was a nice little detail, you know. But Rich,
Well, I'm not going to say that the FBI is entirely populated with morons, because I think you have to be pretty smart to be a profiler in the FBI. These people were just idiots. What do you not do when there's a serial killer around and you're pretty sure that one of the serial killer might be one of you? You don't drink the coffee that's in front of you. You don't do that.
Yeah.
You don't have a cigarette. You don't put anything in your mouth or go anywhere alone, and you definitely check your firearms. You want to make sure that everything is good. You know, that it hasn't been sabotaged or anything like that. Booby trapped. And these guys just didn't do any of that, which is why they died. I thought some of the deaths were. This is a slasher movie for sure. You can't look at it as a mystery. You have to look at it as a slasher movie because that's what it is. It's kind of like, let's find a new and inventive way to kill somebody, and that's pretty much all any slasher movie is. There's never any, let's figure out who it is, because that always happens 2/3 to 9/10 of the movie, and you figure out who the slasher is. And in this one, I had it wrong initially, and then I was like, no, because I thought it was LL Cool J. And then before that was before you were sort of led into LL Cool J being the bad guy.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a black serial killer. It's always a white guy. It's never a woman. And it's never a black guy, or hardly ever. So I was like, well, that would make a good choice for LL Cool J. Plus, I love LL Cool J. Anything he's in, it makes the movie better. Yeah. So, but I just thought that for FBI profilers, they could have nailed this a little better. I understand the serial killer was next level and he was a super smart guy and all that stuff. But the ending was, I don't know, that fight scene at the end was a little bit unbelievable.
Yeah.
I think one punch from him to her and it was over. That's just how it is. The FBI profilers might be smart, but they're not necessarily tough. I don't know. It was my suspension of disbelief on some of this stuff was like, that wouldn't happen. You're not going to see that type of thing. And that really threw me for a loop. This is another movie that I had seen this movie before, and it's a movie that I won't watch again. I didn't hate it, and I didn't love it. And I guess I'll leave it there. What do you guys want to rate it?
Everything you said, Rich, was what I said about suspending disbelief. Yeah. It's like, these are like rookie cops, not FBI guys, but I still like them.
Well, it had a good cast in it, but they all fell apart. They all they're stressed and they all fell apart. They're pointing fingers at each other, putting hands on each other, really violent with each other, actually, and ready to shoot somebody, at a heartbeat. So that kind of was like, I don't think that would really happen with those people because they're supposed to keep their cool, but, I didn't hate this movie. So what are we going to rate this one?
Anyone?
I'll give it a 3.75. I don't know if I'll watch it again because I know the ending. And that was one of the things that kept me. Okay, who's going to die out of the 1 or 2 or 3 that are left? Who's going to be the killer? And I was pleasantly surprised. I did not see what was coming, which I enjoyed. But yeah, it's a good one-time watch. 3.75.
Rich?
I give it a 3. For all the reasons I stated. I'm all about suspension of disbelief. I can usually do that in a film, and in this one, it just kind of pissed me off. So that said, it's not a bad movie, and some of the deaths, like I said, it's a slasher movie, so some of the deaths are interesting, and no bugs, so you can just write that off. But yeah, I'll give it a 3.
I'll give it a 3 as well. I won't watch it again, but it's style over substance. It was fun to watch. But yeah, you were like you said, Rich, you're just like, okay, okay. And you knew when the guy grabbed that gun, switched out the magazines, you knew that was going to be
I didn't.
his
I
downfall.
did not see that coming.
Ah, yeah, we were
I
talking
thought
about when we were watching it.
I thought something else was going to happen.
What you thought the elevator might get him or something, or
No, I thought he was going to wind up killing somebody, the wrong person.
oh, okay, I see what you mean because of the shadow moving around. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it could have been like her. Yeah. Well, you want to talk about some of the other movies? Red Planet right now is Landa and Max are talking about it.
Yeah,
Have you guys seen Red
I'm
Planet?
trying to remember
Yeah.
that one. What's that about?
It's where they go to Mars. It's Tom Sizemore's in it, and
Carrie Ann
what's her
Moss.
name from the yeah, Carrie Ann Moss from Matrix is in it, and somebody else. There's somebody else. Who?
I don't know. I said it's
Who?
good. The
Yeah,
film's
it's good.
I look it up.
It came out the same time that other Mars movie came out, didn't it? Mission to Mars
I think it did.
with,
Yeah.
with Gary Sinise, I think, was in that one.
Yep. Simon Baker, actually.
I don't think I saw this one.
It's not bad.
Benjamin Bratt. That's who it was.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
He was the
about
commander.
they go to Mars, and there's supposed to be this habitat set up for them. The habitat is destroyed somehow, and so they kind of have to deal with that. But what happens is they have this it's a military robot that they're using to help them do the survey and to protect them and stuff like that. And that kind of goes haywire, and it goes after them, and it goes into military mode, and it wants to kill them. And it's about how they have to fight off this robot and the elements, and then that they find out that there's actually a little bit of life on Mars. So it's not what they thought, but it's good. It's definitely I think it was better than the Thaw, better than
Oh,
900.
Better than mine.
I'll have to watch that. I know I saw it, like Landa. I know I saw it. The robot dog looks familiar, but I don't remember any of it.
Yeah, Val Kilmer was like the mechanic on the mission. He was like, right? He was like the mechanic. He wasn't really.
He was the robot mechanic.
Yeah, and he's pushed to being the hero basically. Once Benjamin Bratt gets knocked off, and Simon Baker, the mentalist, he's in this. He gets knocked off, and like Clark said, Terrence Stamp is in this too. I forgot. Always good to see Terrence Stamp in something.
Yeah.
But it's not a bad flick. I think it was better than Mission to Mars.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. This is more sci-fi-ish. Mission to Mars is more like kind of
Spooky.
I want to say I'm probably wrong, but like tech-ish. Like the problems are more not fantastical, like Red Planet's kind of fantastical because it's got some things that happen on it. Mission to Mars is basically
woo.
Wait, is Mission to Mars where the aliens take them?
No,
no. It's Mission to Mars is there's like a booby trap on Mars and
Ghost. You're thinking of Ghost of Mars.
Yes, yeah. Ghost of Mars was atrocious, but this one, the one with Gary Sinise is Mission to Mars, and that's they go to Mars and they're trying to figure out what's going. There's like a door in a face.
Yeah,
trying to figure out what's going on, and yeah, it was okay, but I think the Red Planet was much better.
Yeah.
Don't diss a John Carpenter movie.
I don't usually.
Hey, I like Ghost of Mars. It was okay, but it was okay, Rich. It was Assault on Precinct 13 on Mars.
No, I know.
That's what it was.
I know.
Every John Carpenter movie is Assault on Precinct 13.
This was the only John Carpenter movie that I didn't hate Mission to Mars, but I didn't particularly care for it. It's not a movie I'm going to put up there, with The Thing and stuff like
right.
that. It was okay, but there was just the alien language. I was just like, are you kidding? It was just silly. It reminded me of Mars Attacks. With the big
yeah.
the heads.
Yeah. Hey,
That
Jason
was my
Statham was
first-
in a John Carpenter movie.
That was my first. Assault on Precinct 13 was my first John Carpenter movie, and that's when it was like I fell in love with that guy's acting. I mean, his directing. That movie was so good. What I loved about that one, I know we're getting off Val Kilmer, they never figured out why they were under attack. They were so realistic.
Oh, yeah.
They never figured out why was the gang attacking them. They just knew they were going
That's
after the guy that was nuts now in the station.
That's right. That's right. So, what other Val Kilmer movie you guys want to throw out there that we can
I'm
talk
looking
about?
through, and the sad thing is I haven't seen most of his movies.
Oh yeah, he did a lot of B movies.
Yeah.
Thunderheart was a good one where he was an
Oh
FBI
my
agent.
God.
Was
He
Top
did
Gun.
10 Commandments, the musical.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Wait a minute. I got to look this one up.
What's your favorite role for him?
Oh,
That's tough. I mean, I think his best acted role is probably either Thunderheart or Iceman from Top Gun. But the
I
role
loved
I
him as
liked
Matt.
him in the most would probably be Top Secret. I think. I just thought he
I
was
loved him
funny
as
hell.
I loved him as Mad Mardigan. I thought he was great.
So
in Willow.
honestly, that's another one. He was really good in that. Mad Mardigan. It was the best character in Willow.
Oh yeah, yeah. He made that movie. Without him, it would have been. I don't know.
I
McGruber.
gotta go with the old standard, Doc Holliday.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
So honestly, Scott, you know what? That is probably his best role.
Yeah.
But I also liked him as Batman.
Yeah, he was a good Batman.
He was a good Batman.
I always
Clooney.
forget about Tombstone, and that honestly, that's probably his best role. You're probably right.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's
Well, I
gotta be.
think the best Batman was Keaton.
Oh yeah, Keaton was
Yeah.
the best Batman. That's my favorite Batman.
Yeah, and I'm like, when I see this, like, how the hell is this comedian going to pull this off? And damn, he did a good job on it too.
That's how I felt, Scott. I was like,
Yeah.
when they said they were gonna cast him, I'm like, Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
You mean the guy from Night Shift? And he killed it.
Yeah.
He did kill it.
Now, I never saw The Doors, Clark. I know I should watch it. I heard he's fantastic in it. But
He's not just fantastic. He looks exactly like Jim Morrison. I was
really,
telling my
That's him.
daughter that the other day. I was saying, hey, so if you haven't seen, she hadn't seen the movie either. I said, if you haven't seen the movie, The Doors, you should, because Kilmer looks just like him. And she's like, Val Kilmer looks like Jim Morrison. And so she pulled it up on her phone, and on someplace online, there's it's like a fold over of half of Kilmer's face and half playing Jim Morrison, half of Jim Morrison's face. It's the same guy. It was uncanny how incredibly great it looked. I wish I could find that and post it in the comments, but I don't think I can post pictures.
He did the singing in it too.
Yeah, he was
Amazing.
good. Meg Ryan was good in that movie too. It was a good flick. I enjoyed it. And if you haven't seen it, you should see it for sure. It's a good
How
flick.
about the Ghost in the Darkness?
That was good. That was good. I
That's a
think
good
he was the sidekick in that.
Yeah.
now that sounds so familiar, but I don't know if I ever saw it.
It's where they're building that bridge in Africa, and there's a lion that's just killing off all the workers. Michael Douglas is called he's a hunter, and Val Kilmer's in charge of the railroad building it.
I don't think I saw that.
It's good. There's actually 2 lions. And
Yeah,
it's-
two
Or
lions, right.
if I did, I saw it when it first came out, and I don't remember it.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
that's worth seeing.
Of course, Heat, but he's in there with so many top-notch actors.
Yeah.
And then I think we all agree what his worst role was.
Oh, Dr. Moreau.
Yes.
Dr. Moreau.
That was just terrible.
I was disappointed in that movie because I remember the one with Burt Lancaster and Michael York.
Yeah, it was good.
That wasn't too bad. And the original with Claude Rains is fantastic. But there are two movies that had fantastic actors and none of them could save it. The Island of Dr. Moreau and Alexander Skarsgård's Tarzan.
It was okay.
It was horrible.
It
When
was okay.
Samuel Jackson and the other guy, White, can't save a movie. You know it. The only reason my wife liked it was because Alexander ran around without a shirt.
His shirt off, right? Yeah.
Maybe that's the only reason I liked it. I don't know. I watched it come back from Hawaii. I watched it dad on the plane. So maybe that colored a little bit because I was bored,
Well, they should have shown snakes on the plane with Samuel Jackson. That would have been fun.
Right? I watched this movie Spartan, and it's about the kidnapping of the president's daughter or a high-ranking politician, and it's a weird movie. It's kind of special forces type. Jason Bourne. It's like a small movie, and it was okay, but and he was in it. I mean, he was basically, one of the main characters in it. It was okay. But he's got so many movies, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang with Iron Man. That's a good one. Have you seen that one?
No, what's that about?
Actually, we did that on here, didn't we?
Oh, we did that one. Yeah. It's a private eye movie, basically. And it's written by Shane Black and directed by Shane Black, and typical, Last Boy Scout type of movie. In fact, that helped bring back Robert Downey Jr.'s career, that movie.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, we did. It's a good flick. You remember it if you saw it. It was good.
Yeah, it's a good flick. Val Kilmer's gay in it. He's a gay detective.
I'm looking at the pictures of it. I don't remember it. But I love Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, he's a great actor.
It's a good flick.
My favorite role of Kids, I think it was brilliant. I loved it. Was the one where he's born as the four people on the bus get killed, Heart and Soul.
Yes.
Oh yeah. That's a good
The way he when they took him over, the way he became them was absolutely. I'm so glad he didn't wind up killing himself.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Yeah,
it's a nice one. And his role in Maverick, Top Gun Maverick, was really fitting. The way they did him good in that.
Yeah.
He
was dying of cancer in the movie.
Yeah. And you really felt, oh man, Iceman, I think maybe because you knew he had health problems at that time too,
Yeah.
That made it more poignant,
did he die of esophageal cancer? What was his issue?
I believe it was, but it was pneumonia that got him.
It was pneumonia complications from esophageal cancer. I don't know. I knew he died of pneumonia, but I knew that his illness was. I thought it was that type of cancer. I don't know.
Hang on,
I guess his kid. I believe. I could be wrong, but I guess his kids talked him into getting surgery because he was a Christian Scientist and he didn't doesn't believe in that, and his kids finally talked him into getting the surgery and stuff. So I think that helped, but the pneumonia got him.
I did not know he was a Scientologist.
Yeah. Oh, that's sad.
Did you guys ever watch the TV show Entourage?
No.
So that was it was like a there was this actor and his entourage of friends came from New York, lived in California, and there's Val Kilmer plays this drug dealer. I think he's in like one or two episodes. I think he was in one, and he was just batshit crazy, and he nailed it. Like they're sitting there and they're all getting stoned, and they're smoking like hookahs and stuff like that. and this one kid's phone rings, and Val Kilmer just gets up and he pulls this gun out and he's like, "You sons of you cops! I knew you were." It was great. Kind of a reach. Entourage was actually pretty famous. It was a pretty big show. It was. I think it was
Yeah,
HBO.
yeah, yeah. I never. I don't think we had HBO when it was on.
Yeah, it's a good show.
True Romance. He was great in that.
Yes.
So from the Peanut Gallery, what is your favorite Val Kilmer role?
Yeah, let us know what your favorite role is. He had so many.
Yeah.
You know? And he had, a couple of iconic roles.
Yeah.
Just iconic. And he did a lot of B movies, a lot of movies that, Have you ever seen that movie, The Salton Sea? That's a little crime thriller with a lot of good actors in it. It's really good.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah. It's good. It's not great, but it's good. Here we go. Look, see, Clark says his is Doors. Dungeon Dan, hey Dan, says Ghost in the Darkness.
Dan.
Landon Savannah, Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
And Max is like, we've been saying, yeah, smart ass. We've been saying them for 45 minutes.
Yeah, but you didn't say which one was your favorite. You've just been throwing out Val Kilmer movies.
I'm trying to include you all, Max.
You nailed it. I think his best role is Doc Holliday, or the one that he acted the best for, just because of how that went.
Yeah.
But honestly, I love Mad Mardigan. I love Nick Rivers in Top Secret. He just had so many.
Chris Knight, Max's Tombstone.
Yeah.
Chris Knight, that's another great character.
Yeah, real genius.
Yeah, real genius. So, Doc Holliday is what he'll be remembered for. And
Top Secret,
not Batman.
Was Top Secret done by the same guys that did Airplane and The Naked Gun?
Yeah. It was the same movie, pretty much.
Did you see they're remaking The Naked Gun?
The preview for it looks hilarious.
I think I did see it. I haven't seen the preview, but I saw it flashing around on Facebook.
Liam Neeson as Frank Durbin Jr. I think that's going to be friggin' hilarious.
They got this scene where they've got the pictures of Frank Drebin and, George Kennedy, his partner, and OJ, and it's got all their sons, right? So Liam Neeson's going, "I love you, Dad," and Frank George Kennedy's son saying, "I love you, Dad," or whatever. And OJ Simpson's son looks at it and he looks at the camera and goes,
"No." Well, you know who is doing it? Seth MacFarlane.
Oh, it should be good.
Seth MacFarlane, I love him. He goes after everyone.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's funny.
Yeah, he does.
He is.
Because when I first heard they were remaking it with Liam Neeson, it's like,
but
it looks good.
I love Liam Neeson because he makes fun of himself. Like his scene in Ted with the cereal.
Yeah.
It says for ages, 6 to 12. If I eat this, am I going to be breaking any rules?
So, you guys got any more words about Val Kilmer?
No, it's a
I'm
loss.
gonna miss him. I wish he could have stuck around a little more.
Yeah.
But usually they go in threes, and who were the three around Val Kilmer?
Richard Chamberlain.
Richard Chamberlain.
That's right.
And I don't know if Gene Hackman was a little bit before that. But
we can lump him in. We can put in Gene Hackman. You're right. Gene Hackman.
I feel so bad for Gene Hackman, though. They say he must have wandered around that house for 2 weeks, not even knowing his wife had passed away.
Oh, man.
Well, that's what they think happened. She died. She had a stroke or something. And then he just wandered around the house for 2 weeks. He didn't feed the dog. Until he eventually died of hunger or something.
Jeez.
I'm looking up movies
that's
now.
horrible.
MacGruber.
Oh, MacGruber, yeah. That's right. He was the bad guy in MacGruber, right?
Yeah, I don't remember.
You should watch that. That's pretty funny. It's stupid. It's stupid funny.
Wyatt Earp's Revenge, Breathless, Planes, Ghost Girls. Yeah, there's a lot that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, he was in a lot of stuff. Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
I never even knew there was a reboot.
Yeah,
Well, I didn't either.
It was Top Gun Maverick. Damn. Rest in peace, my friend.
Yes. I might
Yes,
give
we're gonna watch.
a shot.
Yeah.
What's that?
Lander asked if we're going to watch season 2 of The Last of Us.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah,
they've
probably.
already agreed. They've already agreed to make season 3. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, the thing with The Last of Us is, I think everybody does great. People shit on Bella Ramsey, but I think she's great in this.
Oh yeah.
But I want a zombie show, and it's not a zombie show.
no,
I'm kind of hope they amp that up. There was one really good scene in the first season when they all burst out of the ground and stuff, and they're all running around just killing everybody. That was great. And the very beginning, like the first episode, was really good. But I want more.
a lot of the kids in my school loved it because they said it stayed to the video game.
I know.
And for us that want just zombies killing people, it was a little bit dull. And I got to admit, I loved episode 3. The old guy, the recluse, and then he takes in the other guy, and they become lovers, and then they both live through the whole thing. That was such heartbreaking.
You liked it for the sex. Come on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have an internet for that.
Have you watched The Bondsman yet with Kevin Bacon?
No.
I have. I watched it day off, and I watched like the first 3 episodes, and then the 3 episodes the next day. It was really good. It's quick. I think they're like 40-minute episodes.
Yeah,
it's
good.
If
you haven't seen The Bondsman, it's like Reaper, Brimstone, and Supernatural, and Ash versus the Evil Dead rolled all into one.
I'm finishing up the first 6 seasons of Black Mirror. One of the teachers at school who teaches the dystopian class got me hooked on it. And tomorrow, season 7 comes out. And those things are so effed up. They're so good. Except for the first season, episode 1. Skip that.
Is that the pig?
That's the pig.
Yeah, that's the pig.
The one with, I think it's season 3. God, I can't think of the Nosedive with Dallas Bryce Howard. That's probably the best.
All right.
But then again, I got a crush on Dallas. So.
What was the name of the zombie movie you were talking about online the other day, Scott? You said we should watch it. It was new. It was on Hulu, I think. You had brought it up. I think it was on your page.
Was it the End Comes at Camp Z?
Yeah, something like what was it called? End
Comes at Camp Z. I watched it the other day. It's good, but it takes an hour for the zombies to come out. But they build up the characters really well. So, but when the zombies hit, they hit for the rest of the movie. And it's got some it's got some surprises in it. People died that I didn't think were going to die.
All right.
It was all right. I don't think I'll ever watch it again, but
it's a zombie, so I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
Finished up 1923. You guys watch that at all?
No, I haven't seen any of the Yellowstone spinoffs. I gotta do that. I got so much on my plate right now.
Well, after watching it, I'm thinking, what besides the Frisco Kid and Cowboys versus Aliens, why hasn't Harrison Ford done a Western? He was perfect in this.
Yeah.
Why hasn't he done an all-out Western when he was younger? I mean, I thought great, but it's worth a watch, Mac. The last episode is really sad, like those 1883 was. I liked it, but
I didn't
Anyway.
even hear of that one, Dan.
Yeah, what's that one?
Yeah.
Look now.
I never heard that one either. And Mobland, Guy Ritchie's new series Mobland's on Paramount Plus. I haven't watched that yet. I hear it's good with Tom Hardy and Pierce Brosnan and Dame Helen Mirren. I hear that's really good. So,
Yeah, I would like to see it.
yeah.
Silent Zone.
Silent Zone.
Yeah, 2025 zombie movie. Okay, gonna have to give that a try. Actually, Dan just said it sucked, right?
Yeah, he said he didn't like Quiet Zone. He said it was lame.
Thanks, Tony. I do. I feel better. I'm still coughing a little bit. Nothing like I was.
We've got that going through the school.
Yeah, it's
We have
vicious.
it like every week. There's a teacher out. So
Well, Rich, it looks like it's time, huh?
Yeah, man,
Yeah.
that's another one in the books.
yes,
Another one.
We're gonna miss you, Mr. Kilmer.
yeah,
Sorry that you went so young.
yes, and Mr.
Yeah.
Chamberlain and Mr. Hackman.
Yeah. All of them.
Oh, definitely.
as well.
Yeah.
That's gonna do it for us tonight, kids. Thanks for showing up. We very
Thanks
for
much
joining us.
appreciate your support and your love.
And stay weird.
Not over till you get fingered by Rich.
You got that right. Take it easy, everybody. Everybody gets a
Night.
second. Good night.
Stay safe.